I'm on camera. Here we go. Hello, beautiful earth dwellers. I am here because I have felt very called to make a video on self-love and how I personally cultivated self-love in my life. I've compiled a list of like 6 key points that I want to hit based off how I made this happen. So let's get into it. The first way that I cultivated self-love was by becoming conscious of what I consume. So what I mean by that is all aspects of what I consume. So media, food and drinks, boundaries with people and certain situations, that being a big one. So for instance, what I mean about media, basically the media that we are being fed has a way of fueling self-hatred, and they do that for a reason, because they want you to hate yourself, so you buy their products, right? This has been a known thing for a really long time. So just being conscious of what media I'm consuming, and of course you can't do that 100% of the time. It's not gonna work. Like, this stuff gets pushed on us a lot without our consent. So like what I mean by that is like when we're driving on the freeway, like billboards, and you know, like when we're in places that have TVs and stuff, you can't really like get away from that. So sometimes it's not always going to be with our consent, but just remaining conscious of what we do consent to. Oh, hello. You're so cute. You are so cute. You are a big girl? Boy? Girl, you're a big girl. I actually used to have a pitty that looked exactly like her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I tell you what, she's the best dog I ever had.
Oh, they're so sweet. Yeah, they're extremely sweet.
Yeah.
I'm taking a video for YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's it about?
It's about self-love and cultivating self-love within yourself.
Really?
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it was nice meeting you.
You too. Jenny, go ahead, girl.
I'll see you guys around. So being really conscious of how things make me feel, right? So how that relates to media is being conscious of the content that we're consuming. So for instance, if you watch my last video, I speak a lot about how fear is being projected onto people right now and how that's a big issue. So becoming conscious of how you feel when you watch a video or a TikTok, whatever it may be, whenever you read a book, because a lot of times people will project certain ideas or project certain energy or project certain themes onto you. So just being really conscious of how you feel, and your feelings are going to be a huge indicator and guide on if this thing is for you or if it's not for you. That's why a lot of people say, I resonate with this, right? So resonating, if you think in terms of frequency, resonating is when you're matching the same frequency. So you want to make sure that you are consuming things that match the frequency that you want to be in, right? So for instance, I want to be in a happy state, or I want to be healthy, or I want to feel good. Finding things that resonate with me when I'm in that state. Another thing that I wrote down in relation to this, which if you follow my TikTok, then you've probably heard me say this, but treating my body like a temple and not like a tomb. All right, my second point moving on from that would be aligning my mind, body, and my soul. This was a really, really big one for me. So just finding one activity for each one, and I'm going to give you guys a few examples. These are just things that I found that helped me out. Of course, you can do whatever you resonate with. But for my mind, learning something, reading something, finding ways to challenge myself, like for instance, doing videos like this, I've had to learn how to edit, I've had to learn how to work YouTube, like doing things that I haven't done before, basically. For the body part, movement, so dance, yoga, going to the gym, anything that keeps me active and keeps me moving. And then for my soul, I found a lot of fulfillment with that through cultivating my own spirituality and kind of finding that for myself, and then just doing what excites me. So whatever I feel like is exciting in that moment, just going with that energy and then doing what excites me. My next point after that is going to be making small, obtainable goals. Hello. Hi, puppy. Oh my gosh, they got the whole family. Okay, so making small, obtainable goals. So by doing this helps me prove to myself that I can do things that I put my mind to and stick to them, because in the past I've really had an issue of when I wanted to do something, I would start doing it and then realize that I sucked at it, because, you know, you're not going to be perfect the first time you do it. It's so like delusional to think that, but I feel like a lot of us think that. But I would realize that I suck at it, and then I'd just get upset and then quit. So really sticking to things have made me cultivate this self-love a lot more, because it proves to myself that I can do it. Because obviously if you do something enough times, you're going to get better and better and better at it. That's just how it works. So I wanted to talk about my crochet journey just a little bit. When I first started crocheting, similar to what I was just talking about, I would get so unbelievably frustrated at the fact that I could barely even get a chain down. And if you don't know what a chain is, it's literally just like one line of loops. Like, I would get so frustrated and I'd have to stop for a little while and take breaks. But I was so determined to do it because I knew that if I could do it, it would open up a lot of doors for me to really make anything I want out of crochet in the future. So I decided to stick with it. And instead of letting frustration bog me down and make me quit like I usually would, I used that frustration to then fuel me into continuing and like really utilizing that energy. Because, you know, you can I don't know how you guys feel when you feel frustrated, but I'm gonna assume it's pretty similar to me. I feel like there is literally a fire burning inside of me because I get so angry. But the thing about having a fire burn inside you is, even though it may have came from a source of frustration, you can use that fire to motivate you. And that is really, really important. Like, again, with editing these videos, I have had so many roadblocks. My laptop, guys, if you saw my laptop, it's embarrassing. It's so old. It barely works. I'm pretty sure it has like 50 viruses on it. And yes, that's my own fault. I don't take care of it as good as I should, but I've had so many roadblocks into just, okay, how ironic is it that my camera dies right as I'm talking about roadblocks and making videos? I was gonna save this one for last, but I feel like we should talk about it because it's been testing me all day, guys. Having patience with yourself. You need to have patience with yourself and with everything, right? Let me talk about my day so far. I had a great morning, but the first place that I went to try to film, and this has been a frequent thing going on lately, is as soon as I get there, totally quiet. As soon as I start trying to film, somebody comes with a leaf blower or a freaking little motorcycle driving around the whole park. It's just, it seems to always be something. But I'm being patient. I came here, and I know that this video is going to get done because I'm being persistent, even though it's challenging. That's just how it goes. So right back to what I was saying with my crochet journey. You can use that frustration as fuel to your fire in order to get shit done. I am living proof of that. Hello, hi, thank you. Okay. The next step into my cultivation of self-love was self-reflection and self-realization. So asking myself why I feel a certain way, being very, very brutally honest with myself, realizing my own divinity, my own uniqueness, because I don't know about you, but I used to constantly compare myself to others, and that is extremely unhealthy because you're not them and they're not you. So realizing that really helps you move out of that headspace, because why would you compare yourself to somebody who isn't even like you two are separate entities, right? It doesn't make sense. It's comparing apples to oranges. That's a way easier way to put it. Both are good in their own respect. They're just different. It depends on the vibe, right? So don't compare yourself to other people. Realize that you are unique and you're an individual and you are divine in your own right, and you bring something to the table that whoever you're comparing yourself to doesn't. Or maybe they do, but you may bring something else to the table that they don't. Everybody is unique and different, and that's why it's all important for us to find self-love and find self-realization and practice that. Also, I feel like this kind of thinking, this comparison thinking, really puts you in a box, because if you're constantly comparing yourself to other people, especially if you're looking at other people who have success doing what they're doing, you're gonna start trying to mimic them. And at that point, like, you're just becoming a copy. Do you want to be a copy, or do you want to be yourself? That's what I thought. Okay, so I guess patience was my last one, but we're back to patience. So this is easier said than done, absolutely. Like, I still fall victim to this every once in a while, and you know, honestly, all of these things, like, you have to be conscious of and work towards consistently, and have that awareness at all times in order to catch yourself when you're in the act of it. But death to negative self-talk, so any like self-deprecating type talk. And I used to be a huge perpetrator of this, like, and I would do it in a humorous way, like, you know, I don't need to give you examples, it's everywhere nowadays. But I used to do it in a humorous way and think, oh, like, it's okay because I'm making a joke. But the thing about your subconscious mind is it takes everything very literally. So if you're constantly saying, like, I want to unalive myself, your subconscious is going to take that very literally, and you are gonna start feeling like that eventually. We are the stories that we tell ourselves. I'm gonna say that one more time for the bitches in the back. We are the stories that we tell ourselves. So be very conscious of what you say, because words are very powerful. Okay? I already kind of touched on this, but growth takes time. That's why you need to have patience with yourself. Like I said, it's extremely delusional to start something new and expect that you're just gonna be a professional at it, because that's just not how it works. Literally nobody is like that. Yeah, maybe people do something and they're, decent at it, or they're good, and then they can build off of it, but nobody starts something and is immediately a master at it. That's just not how it works. So give yourself time. Like, give yourself patience, give yourself gratitude, honestly, give everything gratitude. And then the next thing I wanted to talk about was having awareness and having an action plan surrounding self-sabotaging behavior, because this is another thing that I struggle with from time to time, not as often as I used to, because it used to be really bad, but I was so used to things being chaotic in my life, and this is a main one that I still have to like consciously remind myself of. I was so used to growing up in such a dysfunctional household and constantly having chaos around me that when things aren't chaotic, I feel like something's wrong. So what that then does is make me feel like I have to bring the chaos. Even if I'm not doing it on a conscious level, I start self-sabotaging by like ruining relationships, or I'm sure you can figure out other ways that would go into play. But the way you want to do this is, and I am a huge advocate of writing things out, because I have a lot going on in my brain. As you can see, I keep looking down because I have a lot going in my brain all the time. So in order for me to get my thoughts coherently out, or even just like coherently in my brain, I have to write it out so I can organize it a little bit, or else it's just like mishmash in my brain, right? So, the best way to do this is writing it out. What does self-sabotaging behavior look like for me? Like, what have you done in the past that you would consider self-sabotage? And then how do I bounce back when I catch myself doing it? So create an action plan of like, and it doesn't have to be anything super specific or super elaborate, but like, for instance, if I catch myself ruining a friendship because I feel like I need chaos in my life, I'm going to take a step back, evaluate if I actually want that friendship in my life or not. First and foremost, is it serving me? Second off, how do I do the opposite of what I'm doing right now? So if I'm going to give you guys an example. So if the self-sabotaging behavior is not properly communicating with this person, then my new goal would be to properly communicate with them. See what I mean? So that way, when you have an action plan, it makes it a lot easier, and it puts this to the forefront of your mind so you're more aware of it when it's actually going on. And the last point, I'm sorry, I'm shaking the camera because I'm hitting the table. The last point that I want to make, and again, I struggle with this too, but you do not have to be perfect. You do not have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect regardless of who's looking at you or what you're doing. I'm going to talk about this because it's a community that I'm very much in, but I know it relates to different communities, or we could just be doing this to ourselves. It doesn't even matter about the external influence, but in the spiritual community, I know it's very, like, there is, if you watch spiritual people's videos, there is this image that you have to be, or else you're not actually spiritual, right? Which is absolute bullshit. That is so toxic. You do not have to be perfect. There is perfection in the imperfection, guys. Like, if we were all perfect, life would be so boring. It would be so incredibly boring. I don't know if you guys have seen the Barbie movie, but like, if you have, where she's just waking up and it's the same thing every day and it's so perfect. It's not perfect. It takes her going into actual reality and living the imperfection to realize that there's beauty in the imperfection versus the perfection, right? It's what makes this experience so unique, is being imperfect and having that journey of, yeah, you can strive to be good or the best or whatever, that's fine. But I'm saying, don't put this pressure on yourself to be perfect all the time, or look perfect all the time, or say the right things all the time. You're gonna fuck up. You're literally setting yourself up for failure if you're putting that expectation on yourself. Trust me, coming from somebody who has a tendency to do this, this is probably one of the biggest things that I have to stay aware about all the time. Like, you're not perfect. Nobody is. Newsflash. I don't care how their life looks on Instagram. I don't care how their life looks on YouTube. I don't care how PC they are all the time. Nobody is perfect. People say things that hurt people. That's just how it is. People, and I'm not saying that's a good thing. Of course, we should try not to do that, but you can't hold yourself to that expectation. And honestly, you can't hold others to that expectation too. It's so fucking toxic. And I'm so sick of saying it. And it puts you in this teeny tiny box of like, I have to be this way, I have to dress this way, I have to look this way, this has to be my aesthetic, I have to do these things because that's what everybody's doing, that's what all the cool kids are doing. Like, why? Like, why would you even want to live your life like that? Just have fun. Just have fun. If you hurt somebody along the way, if you say something wrong, apologize and mean it, learn from it, grow. That's what's beautiful in this life, is the process, the journey. Okay? I'm gonna take a step off my soapbox. I had so many interruptions trying to make this video. The editing process might be a nightmare, but hey, it's gonna be a new challenge for me. As I was just talking about that, so it's good. But hopefully you got something from this. I feel like I can expand on this stuff forever. I'm just trying to be conscious of like not making the video 10 years long, because I'm sure I'm entertaining to some extent, but I don't know if you guys want to listen to me yell about shit for 2 hours. Or maybe you do. I don't know. Let me know. Anyways, I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. Start cultivating self-love right now. It is so, so, so important, and it's the best thing you could possibly do for yourself. I'm telling you right now, like, best thing you could possibly, and for the community. Like, dude, I'm talking about all these distractions, right? And I don't mean distractions in a bad way. These distractions have been very good, except for the like leaf blower guy in the morning. That was kind of annoying. But like, just me sitting here with my camera in the park, doing what I love, talking about what I'm passionate about, people are so attracted to you. I keep having people come up to me and just start conversation and just talk to me about like deep shit. And I love that. We love that. I'm telling you, if you want to attract good people, good opportunities, good vibes in your life, you need to work on developing your self-love and becoming authentic. Enough said. Take care, guys.